Amazing. We're so in time, and I'm very happy to introduce the next speaker to you. He's actually involved in a really cool project. I'm not sure if you've heard about it, but 10 Minutes Me also has an own podcast, which is really cool. So you can check it out online on the 12 Minutes Me website. And Wilbert, who is here today, has been discussing about a wide range of topics for around 2.5 years. And some of those are located within the area of digitalization and ethics. And today he's here to tell us about some of his learnings which he learned during that time, discussing with different people around different areas about the whole topic around digitalization and ethics. So I'm very happy that you're here, and I'm also very happy to listen to your talk. Welcome so much, Wilbert Hirsch.
Ja, vielen Dank. Ich muss ja los, Zeit läuft, genau. Mein Name ist Wilbert, ich bin gerade vorgestellt worden, wunderbar. Vielen Dank, ich freue mich, dass wir... ich muss in Englisch, sorry, I'm talking in English. Okay, again, my name is Wilbert, and I'm pleased to share some thoughts with you. And thank you for all of you guys, you make a fantastic job here, 12 Minutes Me team, I mean, really, thanks, great. So, let's see, it's not working. Okay, I want to dedicate these thoughts to my mother. Because as a journalist, she was always striving to get probability of information. And that was a lesson I got from her. And I thought in the retrospective view, I hated it when I was young, but I think it was a good lesson. But these days, you know, we have fake news, we have perfectly falsified videos and speeches and everything. So it's really hard to get to the core and to the evidence that we need for if something is true or not. And we could say, yeah, fake news become fake truth these days, many often. So, what the fuck do we know? This is my title. And I think if you have anyone seen here Game of Thrones? Okay, you know nothing, Jon Snow, and everybody who's seen it knows to the end, he had no idea or anything. But let us look at an interesting thing. I'm standing in front of that. Okay, can I speak? Why we are really clueless. We can only perceive 5% of the universe. 95% are not perceptible for us. So we have no idea what it is. Although there's theories, they say it's like about 68% is dark energy and 27% is dark matter, but we don't know what that is. So at least we have scientifically proven that we don't know much. But they say the discovery of ignorance was probably one of the greatest discoveries of mankind. Why? Because it led to increased efforts, to, learn. And that's our faith. We want to know, but we still don't know very much. So, and the digital revolution, which is our theme here, has taken our speed of findings and invention to a level that we sometimes cannot really see or cannot really have an idea what it's going to mean for mankind later on. So, Stephen Hawking is said to have answered the question if there's time travel possible in following way. He said, everything that can be invented will be invented. So if time travel would be possible, why are there no tourists from the future here? So that was his quote. And then you could think on, does it mean that it will never be invented or that there is no future to invent time travel? So we don't know. So we think, what's the problem? Okay. Yes. Okay. So we will not stop to invent things, even when we have no idea what that means for us. And I think there's a word for that. I call it hubris. And this is a little bit what I'm talking about today. So there are many areas where hubris seems to be already in place. So mankind has been breeding for thousands of years. And these days, we are changing plants and animals just by kind of manipulating the code. Now, you could say, okay, this is just a shortcut to breeding, but that's not the way, because when you breed, there's a try and error principle in nature. You know, things are tried, things are thrown away, nature does it, and just things that work will, in the end, survive. But with the plants and with the animals, what's also happening, you all remember Dolly, we have no idea. And with the plants, they're already released into the world. So the ghost is out of the bottle, although we have no idea what, in the end, it does to the ecosystem. And there's another interesting point. Have you heard of CRISPR-Cas9? Fine. I mean, CRISPR, that sounds like a nice chocolate bar, but it reads, and I read the word for you, I have to read it because it's quite complicated. The abbreviation for a biochemical method called clustered regularly interspaced short palindromic repeats. Okay? I think you got it now. Because this is too long and too complicated, everybody calls it CRISPR. So it's a method that presents a revolutionary method to cure genetics, to fight the hunger, and to make plants better. That's what's been praised for. And of course, you can do specifically cut genes out and in. You can insert new genes. You can switch them genes off, or can take genes out that are not wanted. So, sounds good. But of course, with CRISPR, there's a danger that this technology will be used in a broader framework, because if we can, exchange defective DNA, why not trying to inject strands to make people smarter? I'd love that. Stronger, prettier, whatever. I mean, just name it, you go there and you change them. And I'm pretty sure that this is going to happen pretty soon in the future in different labs around the world. But I have no idea if it's not already happening. I could imagine that there are some labs that are trying it out just to see what happens. So, and we have no idea what that means finally, like a psychological or physiological interaction between humans and the changed DNA. What's happening, we have no idea. I think we have to be very careful in some things. And I think in the view of our ambitions, something will happen, because we have hubris is part of our, DNA in a way. Good. Let's look at the brain. Also, the brain. We don't know very much about how the brain works. We have some ideas. There are maps and everything. But finally, we once said 10%. We only use 10%, but that's not true. We know that's a myth. We know that it's always working. The full brain, day and night. But we only know just a little bit of what it is. So I'm mentioning this because the brain is, when we talk about artificial intelligence, it is a raw model, and it's so complex. If you see all the input systems that we have, nose and ears, eyes, haptics, intuition, and that's all to process that in a computer. It seems to be quite complicated, and we have even no idea what we want to process because we don't know what the brain does. But artificial intelligence, and I learned yesterday, AGI, artificial generated intelligence, is trying to, do things like we do it. So to copy our brain. I think it's quite a hubris to do that without knowing exactly what you are copying. So, and we all know, we have talked about AI these days. It's a misleading word. AGI is a little bit better, I think, because AI is basically simulating intelligence. It's not really intelligence, it's algorithms, and they do things that we want. But if we come to the point where computers become really intelligent, and it's tried, like Google Neural Translation Machine has done that. They have a program that is meant to translate languages from the original language to English and then back to the new one. And it's said that after a while they have these machines have started to translate it just directly, zero-shot translation call. And it wasn't planned, although I think they knew it could be possible. But sometimes there are processes that we cannot really control, and that's, I think, is a danger. And there's some other people that have already warned. For example, Elon Musk, who said 2014, in the next 5 years, something bad will happen. And he further stated that all the big companies are aware of the danger, but they all believe that they can shape and that they control digital intelligence. So, hybris, well, we will see. He says it might be fast in the internet. And the problem is when we come to a point where we have a technology singularity, that's the point, when the programs start to evolve new codes that we can't follow anymore, when they get better and better, and there is a real danger. Even Stephen Hawking said that AI is a big threat for mankind. He said it could initiate the end of mankind. You know, we have no idea. Maybe we get it, we control it, and sometimes computers are smart. I mean, not intelligent. I don't know if you heard about the one that was told to play Tetris and not to lose. So what did it do? Press the pause button, so the program. It's a way not to lose. Not what it's meant to be, but it's not really intelligence. But intelligence, in a way, as being the fact or the basic for computer programming, not knowing what we're doing, I think this is all something we have to think about. And this is where I'm coming to. And we have all like dystopian ideas of the future. Many of you have seen that. Shaped by authors. Yeah, that's not too bad. I wanted you all to jump to the wall. I wanted it loud, but it didn't work. Okay, so let me get to the final point. If we are not careful, we really have to be aware of what's happening, and that's my message today. We have to think, we have to regulate. We had the discussion yesterday, of course, balanced, but we have to make sure that ethics and programming these days does not go on, out of our control. If it's possible, I don't know. What the fuck do we know? So finally, this is like my appel. What's this in English? My appeal to you. Don't take everything for granted. Think about what's happening, what the promises might be, and they might be good. And we're only one world. This next thing is we have to also think about what's going on around us. Like, by the way, have you ever eaten a credit card? Okay, it's said that we eat 5 grams per month microplastics, and it's everywhere. When you wash your clothes, when you use liquid soap or cosmetics, or even when you throw away your cigarette butts, you release microplastic in the world. So that was kind of another point I wanted to touch. So we have no fucking idea, and when we're using our world with the right, with our responsibility that we need. And I want you all to, come there and think about it. Thank you.
Also, thank you for sharing. Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that you also listened carefully and that there are some questions who came up within the last 12 minutes. Otherwise, I will start asking mine, and if something pops up, you can just raise your hand, and I will come with the microphone.
Hey, I'm Mika. Thank you for your talk. What is your call for action exactly?
Well, call for action is that we think. I didn't get my picture.
Yeah, maybe
right,
you can elaborate on that.
Yes. Okay. Well, my call to action is really we cannot just trust that all the new developments are just good for mankind. We have to look into it and we have to regulate ourselves. We had this discussion again yesterday, I mentioned it, that we have to we have to keep in power. We have to keep control, and I think we all need to do things. And it's not only on software side, that's why I mentioned the environmental things. We have to act now, because otherwise, we're facing some problems. That's what I believe. Although, what the fuck do I know?
Yeah, I think it's very hard to regulate something you don't know.
Well, then regulate that you do things without knowing. That would be the regulation that I say. We cannot do everything without knowing what the consequences will be. That would be a point where I could just, okay, no, let's wait until we know enough about, you know. Yep.
Yeah, a couple of thoughts on CRISPR. I'm Peter. So CRISPR is already there. If you today go to buy some almond M&Ms in the US, you get CRISPR almonds. Yeah, so and the defendants and supporters of CRISPR technology say, hey, it's just a shortcut for nature because nature will sort it out over centuries and we do it in seconds. What's your view on it?
Well, I think there is a difference between gene manipulation and CRISPR, because CRISPR really does exchange things. But I still believe also in this case, there's a danger, first of all, the ethical danger that we do produce superhumans, superintelligence in a way, on a level, on this level here. Because it should be possible. It's not so far away, and that also will probably, you know, give us a new society, a new not a new society. There will be new people that, you know, are maybe stronger, smarter, and everything. So there is the danger in CRISPR. I always thought that you can use it for good things, but again, I think breeding. This is also, we don't know about how that really works over centuries. You know, of course, something's changing, but how is the process?
This answers your question, right? Yep. Okay, great. There is another question from Stephanie.
Well, hi, I'm Stephanie. I wanted to ask you, do you think, because what you said, I couldn't agree more, the fact that we can do things doesn't mean that we should. And without knowing what the consequences would be. Do you think that having people from other fields more involved in the development of this technology, of philosophy, social sciences, would help into regulating maybe even the speed? I think just stopping is, maybe it's impossible at this point, but just regulating how fast we're getting there.
It is already happening. I mean, there are, like, you know, ethic committees that are thinking about it, and they involve philosophers and people like that. But this is just a small thing. I think when you look at China or in other, you know, other laboratories where we have no idea what they're doing, I'm pretty sure that they do things, and they're not interested in the ethics about it. And for us, it's also a big, you know, a big question, because it's always a challenge. We have to slow down processes, which is not in our nature, you know, and we want to do it. And everything that will be invented, can be invented, will be invented. I pretty much believe that.
Yes. So my question would be: do you believe in a unconsciousness? So do you think that, apart from these 10 or 90%, that humanity is driven by either a subjective or a collective subconsciousness, or unconsciousness, maybe?
It's a good question, but I would say if we really look at that, 95% of what's around us is not perceptible through us. There must be a reason for it. So maybe this is kind of energy, dark energy. We have no. It sounds really bad. It sounds like Darth Vader, but we have no idea what it is. That's because we call it dark energy, because we can't see it in a way. But what it is, we have no idea. So. If you look at physics, for example, string theories, I mean, even Stephen Hawking and these people came up with theories that sound pretty esoteric in a way, you know, like string theory, quantum mechanic, where you have different, they say it could be different worlds existing side to side. So, yep. Finally, I know that I do not know much, but of course we can think. We do. So, did that answer your question a little bit, or? You go a bit.
I would think would mean that's the conscious part.
Yeah.
What's with the, you know, humanity always had the dream to create something that's higher than itself.
Yeah, but that's what I was addressing it to. Maybe it's in there, you know. We don't know.
Okay.
If there are no more questions, I would like to thank you once more for sharing. And if you liked it, check the podcast out. It's really interesting. There are different topics, different people you talk to. So you're doing a great job. You should definitely check it out. Thank you for being here. See you in 6 minutes.
Thank you.